There are over 1 billion single men in the world who have never had a girlfriend and often spend most of their free time playing video games. The interesting thing is that the skills they have learned playing video games would help them in the dating world, if they can make that connection. Find Her is a romantic comedy novel about two recent college grads as they learn how to go from playing video games on the weekends with each other to finding and dating their first girlfriends. The two main characters, Will and Wade, both aged 22, mostly played video games through high school and college, and even after they recently started their first jobs in Chicago. Both had asked girls out a few times and tried online dating, but none had resulted in actual dates, much less girlfriends. They moved into an apartment owned by a 50-something man who helped them move in, then, a few weeks later, invited them to his top-level apartment with a deck overlooking the city for a few beers. After they exchanged introductions and backgrounds, John, the landlord, asked Will and Wade what social things they were doing. They replied that they simply played video games each weekend. "In a city like Chicago, you should be meeting a lot of people to date," he said. Both Will and Wade shook their heads no. He asked if they were even interested in meeting girls, and they replied that they were, but had not been successful and even getting a first date. Over the course of the book, John decides to teach them how to find girlfriends using some of the video gaming skills they had already learned. He had been a gamer back in the 80s and had figured out a way to apply some of the skills he learned from playing video games to dating, and ended up dating 17 women at the same time, before settling on just one of them to marry. John mentioned a study that had been done that said the average guy dates 10 women before finding his first real partner, which can take up to 10 years. If it can take up to 10 years for the average guy to find and date 10 women, why not speed up the cycle? John asked. John challenges Will and Wade to use video gaming skills and new methods to meet and date 2 women each week for 5 weeks. Read and follow as Will and Wade try and fail, and try and succeed, and eventually date 10 times each in just 5 weeks. Do they find their girlfriends? Do you know the answers to these questions that Will and Wade learn in this story? What is the best question to ask when asking for a date? What is the best night to ask her for a first date? What do you say when she says she has a boyfriend? What do you say if you ask for a date, she answers yes? What to say if she says maybe? What to say if she asks for your business card? What surroundings are best to ask her out? Where to take her on a first date? How to make her think you are charming? What to do when you meet her friends? How do you make a date with a stranger you just met and may never run into again? How do you get her to decide you are the one? How to get her to pursue you instead of you pursue her? How to meet and date 10 times in 5 weeks to speed up the cycle at finding a girlfriend? How to decide between online dating, intros from friends, casual meets, or intentional meets? How to evaluate how you look in her eyes. Click below to find out more.